All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Asynchronous learning for Thursday. Um, Basically, a continuation of what we started the day before. As you can see, it says review of adding and subtracting real numbers. So we started the process of adding. I have two more examples for addition, and then I have four for subtraction. I'm going to go through these six with you up top. This is the Google Doc you should have opened for the problems. Maybe either pause the video and open it, or once you have watched the video, either way. And then scroll down. These are the six that you are going to answer. And you're going to post your work, taking a picture. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so let's take a look at the first one. It is addition, and it is going to be using decimals. We did fractions and numbers adding today, or yesterday. I'm filming the day before. And what you're going to do is we're going to add them. And this one's positive, this one's negative. So if you remember our rules, if they are opposite signs, you're going to subtract. And you're always going to subtract the smaller one from the bigger one when this happens. All right, so the bigger one is 4.758. And you're going to subtract these. Now, keep in mind that the 4 is bigger. That'll come into play later. Line up your decimals. That's the big key here for decimals compared to the other ones, is make sure your decimals are lined up. As you can see, there's too many decimal places on the top one, and we're just going to fill in with placeholders so we can subtract more easily. So if one has more decimal places, just put some zeros to match up. All right, 8 minus 0 is 8. Let's go straight down. 5 minus 0 is 5. 7 minus 3, 4. Our decimal place. 4 minus 3 is 1. All right, so our answer, we have part of our answer. We just need to confirm whether it's positive or negative. And I said the bigger number is the 4.75. We might get into more if they have the same first number, the 3 and the 4. We'll maybe get into it if they have the same, but if they don't, just look for the bigger one. The bigger one is this one, and it is positive. So our answer is going to stay as this, positive 1.458. Now, to take a picture of your work, make sure your cursor is in the correct answer box. You're going to go to Insert, Image, Camera. Again, that's Insert, Image, Camera. Oh, and you can see it. All right, what you're going to do is you're going to hold up your work and take a picture. Now, the way I do it is I look to the side of my board. Yours will probably be paper, and then just take the picture like this, and then hit insert. Make sure when you hit insert that the picture you want is in blue. We only have one here. We'll have more. And that'll do. Make sure that I can read that work. If you can't read it, I can't read it. All right? So please make sure that I am able to read it. All right, next example. We have fractions. So we have done this, but I wanted to do one that looked a little different. So I'm going to switch over to the camera. It says -1 plus 3 3/7. Now, for now, I'm going to keep the -1 as it is. And ultimately, we want to convert these into something we can add. And if you have one fraction, you're probably going to want both of them to be fractions. Okay, so let's go ahead and convert this one into a this is a mixed number. Let's do an irregular fraction. The way you do that is 7 times 3 is 21. And I'm just taking these and multiplying them. And then I'm going to add 21, 22, 23, 24. I'm going to add this 3. So 24 over 7. All right. And then we have this -1. How can we represent -1 with a denominator of 7? We still need common denominators. And what I would do is, you guys were pretty good with this. It's going to be negative. And how can we represent 1 with a 7 in the denominator. Well, 7 over 7, 7 divided by 7 is 1. You guys did a nice job with that in class where we ended up with -5 over 5, and your answer was -1. And from there, you can just 7 stays, that's in the denominator, and add straight across. You have -7 plus 24. All right, and so you're just going to do 24 minus 7, basically. And that is going to be, I believe, 17. All right, 24 minus 7 is 17. And the bigger number is 24. It's positive, so there you go, 17 over 7. If you want to keep it like that, you certainly can. I do believe that's also 2 and 3/4 or 2 and 3/7. I would accept either. You can keep it as 17 over 7. All right. I'm going to switch back over and add the picture and pause the recording. Another thing I realized you could do, now this is not always going to happen, but just something, if you notice, look at what our answer was. It was 2, 3 to the 7th. If you go back up to the top, if you just see that the 3/7, remember that's part of a number, that's going to stay, and then you just do 3 minus 1 is 2. You can subtract the whole number of 1 from 3. So that is another option that I wanted to mention before I moved on. All right, so the next one is subtraction. And I wanted to jump to the cheat sheet that I will post. It will be in your options. I'll put it underneath the video, so you should see it. And with that, all you're going to do here for subtraction, it says add the opposite or keep change and use addition rules. So these addition rules. What I wanted to mention was the way that this has you do it is a little odd in my opinion, but it is something that you can do and it'll help you to remember to change the signs. Okay. If you can see, it says -2 minus -6. And by keep change, what it means is keep the first number the same, change the negative or the minus to a plus, change the negative to a positive. So it's -2 plus 6. Same thing here, the -3 stayed, changed the minus to a plus, and changed the 7 to a negative. I do find that this just kind of changes the 7 to a negative for kind of a strange reason, but we'll talk about it. All right, -7 minus -8. So now the way that they want you to do it, and when I say they, I mean, that's what the sheet says. I am going to teach it that way, but I do want to show you some other options in case this doesn't make sense to you. And what it's saying is it's minus. So we identify it's a minus, and then it says keep the 7 the same, change the sign to a plus, and change the negative to a positive. Now I'm going to write it the way that they had it on the sheet. You can just you can just show that it becomes positive like this. 7 plus 8, then would be 15. Now, the way I was taught was that when you see a minus and a negative, it just becomes plus. Minus a minus is the same as adding. So that ends up being the exact same, but that's how I was taught it. So your answer is 15. I'm going to pause the recording and post the picture. All right. So you'll see what I mean by it's a little strange the way that the cheat sheet has you do it. And when I say strange, it's just not the way I was taught. By strange is what I mean. If it makes sense to you, please do it. Some people really like to follow the rules given, and some people have little cheats and things that they have that they can do, whatever makes sense to you. And so this is what I mean. We identify that it is minus. So according to the rules of what I have told you that is on your cheat sheet, what you're going to do is keep the first number. You're going to change the minus to a plus, and you're going to change the 34 to a minus. Essentially, what the sheet is having you do is change everything to an addition problem. Same thing here, plus, -4. 14. And then you can just follow the addition rules. I do find addition is a little bit easier than minus in the sense of keeping track of your signs. So what you'll do then is 4 plus negative 34. This is positive, this is negative, so you'll subtract. You'll have 30. So the result of this is 30. The bigger number is negative, so negative 30. Now what I mean is if you didn't want to, well actually I'll save that. All right. What we have left, negative 30 plus negative 14, these are the same signs, right? It's addition and it's two negatives, so you're just going to add these. 30 plus 10 is 40, and you have that additional 4, 44. They're both negative, so you're going to make it a negative, and that is your answer. All right. That is the work I'm going to post. Now, I did want to say, from here, if you want to, you could just do 4 minus 34. This is the way I was taught, and it maybe is a little more complicated in the way of keeping track of things, but 4 minus 34 would be negative 30. Now that's what we got, but you can just do the minus. Now make sure when you do the minus, you do it in order. For subtraction, you have to do it in order. But you could do it this way. Let me separate it. So 4 minus 34 is negative 30, and then you're doing the same thing, negative 30 minus 14. If it's negative, it's going to become more negative, so negative 44. So depending on which way you were taught, this is review. You'll end up with the same answer. I will pause the video and post. All right, we have two more problems to take a look at, both subtraction. So we're going to try that keep, change, change. So anytime you see subtraction, that's what that work is showing, the keep, change, change. Keep the first number what it is, change the minus to a plus, and then change that the number next to it to its opposite sign. So we're going to do that with a fraction. And I just wanted to mention on the cheat sheet, the adding and subtracting is right here. We already went over addition, and so this doesn't really change anything. It's just we're going to do the keep, change, change, and we still need to find a common denominator. All right, so here's the problem. 6 over 5 minus 5 over 4. We need to find a common denominator, but let's do the keep, change, change first. So the 6 over 5 keeps. The minus, the subtraction will become a plus, and this will become a negative 5 over 4. Again, this makes things simpler, makes everything addition when we do the keep, change, change for subtraction. All right, so let's find a common denominator. You're looking at it, we either need to change the 5 to a 4. That's not going to happen. A 4 to a 5, that's not going to happen. So what I'm going to do is, if you can't find an easy common denominator, you're going to take the top and the bottom of this one times 4, and the top and the bottom of this one times 5. All right, so I write it to the side. I usually put in parentheses. 4 times 6 is 24. 5 times 4 is 20. Keep the plus. And then negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. 4 times 5 is 20. And we're good to go. We have a common denominator of 20. And then just add 24 plus negative 25, opposite signs. So you're going to subtract. 25 minus 24 is 1. And the bigger number is the 25. So negative 25, so negative 1 over 20. Something I did want to mention here, when you insert your picture, I did want to show you this. Make sure when you take that picture, so here's the picture of this work, you'll see to the right there's a bunch of pictures once you start taking pictures. Make sure that the one that you want to post is the one that you select in blue. And I clicked in the wrong spot, so I'm going to drag it. So that might happen. You might put it in the wrong spot. There you go. I moved the picture to where it needed to be. All right, final one, subtraction with decimals. We're going to use the keep, change to make it addition. So, just writing the problem, switch over to this. All right, so the first number, negative 3.5. Let's keep it negative 3.5. Change the subtraction to addition, and then make this a positive 2.73. So keep, change. Remember, subtraction, you can do keep, change. All right, so we have addition now. One's negative, one's positive, so we're going to be subtracting. Your bigger number is 3.5. So I'm going to come off to the side, 3.5 minus 2.73. Again, notice that we need a placeholder, so I'll put a 0 so they line up. Line up your decimals. 0 minus 3 can't do that. 5 minus 7 can't do that, so we're going to come all the way to here. Make this a 2. Make this 15. Borrow from that and make it 14. And then make this final thing 10. So 10 minus 3 is 7. 14 minus 7 is 7. 2 minus 2 is 0. So 0.77. The bigger number is the negative 3.5, so we're going to make our answer negative